Hey everyone, and welcome back to Garden Reviews. Today we have got an absolute beast of a tool. This is in the Bosch Profactor lineup, and it is their Hitman SDS Max rotary hammer. Absolutely stoked to try this out, get it unboxed, and take a look at it. And I'm super excited because I've got probably one or two different projects coming up here in the near future where I should be able to test this out properly and see how this thing performs. So I'm going to start unboxing it. Let's get into it right now. Alright, today, again, the Bosch SDS Max, and they're calling this one lovingly the Hitman. Now this is a 1 9/16 inch SDS Max rotary hammer. In terms of SDS Max, I actually think this is probably on the smaller end of that scale. This would be just, slightly bigger than kind of your biggest SDS Plus system. And this kind of fits in, I think, for what I've got to do really well. SDS Max gives me a lot of flexibility in what I'm using, but I'm not getting into something that's so large that would be probably, mostly useful in like commercial type settings where you really got to get some big core drills on and stuff like that. I don't use that kind of stuff all that often, but having the extra power and some of the flexibility there is going to be great. So again, part of the Profactor lineup. Let's get into it here. I'm assuming that's all sealed up, so we're going to do a spin and we'll get this all cut open and unboxed here. And of course, you got some handy dandy manuals. You've got your warranty information. Now it's 3-year on the tool, 2 years on the battery, and 1 year call kind of hotline, or one call hotline. So for taking care of any type of issues that you may have with it. Now I actually think, I've got to verify, but the Profactor tools may actually have a slightly longer warranty than their other tools. This is kind of interesting. It's like a little cloth. I'm not sure what that's for, but we'll keep it handy nearby. And here it is. Oh my word. That is a tool. I can barely fit it in the screen there. Check that out. Now this thing, honestly, it has got some serious weight to it, but considering the size of it, and it's hard to even get a comparison, we're going to move the box off the table. Set that down right there. And you've got some, looks like some grease probably for your SDS bits, and I'm assuming that's what that cloth rag thing is for. Set this box off to the side there. Okay, so back to it. Yeah, you do get some, assuming some sort of grease here. Where's the English? There we go. Yep, some sort of grease, made in Germany. Very cool. Assuming that's all for the, again, for the actual bits, so that this locking mechanism stays nice and functional. But here it is in all of its glory. Now that's actually kind of cool. It does stand upright even with the handle in the down position. You do have a big kind of flat base there, so if you wanted to, I'm assuming this twists. Yep, there we go. Break that loose and get that up off to the side. And it tips forward. It's got some weight, so maybe using this kind of as a kickstand, that might be preferable. Or if you have a battery on the back, which I do have, let me grab this one right here. Check this out. This is the Profactor 12 amp hour battery, and I'm showing you the wrong side. There we go. So that would be probably the preferred battery for this system, that or the 8 amp hour, because those are the two that are actually going to utilize that bi-turbo motor in this thing and give you the full rated performance. If you stick one of the 4 amp hour batteries on there, it is not going to perform to its max ratings. So let's swivel this up out of the way here. What does a 12 amp hour do? Ooh, that's interesting. So the 12 amp hour, it sits upright. It's a little tippy. It's kind of awkward. So that is, that's interesting. Okay, focus, Ryan. So we've got that, an 8 amp hour battery. Let's see, do I have one nearby? You know what? I do. Give me half a second here. 12 amp hour battery. This thing's going to kick forward. Now, if you got a bit on there, not a big deal because you could just rest that on there. There we go. Got to release it all the way. You can simply just, you know, let the bit hold the tool up. And probably most people, let's get this out for comparison, just for fun here. So this is the Bosch. This is their big boy hammer drill here. But look at how this thing compares. I mean, it is just dwarfed here compared to that monster. So, great for small little holes in concrete. Everything else, why not step up to the SDS, huh? So an 8 amp hour battery, that fits on there. Oh, beautiful. So obviously the base here was designed with that 8 amp hour battery in mind. Check that out. Perfectly flat. So you will get full performance out of that. Obviously you're going to have less runtime than on the 12, but boy, I don't think you're going to go wrong with either of those. So you get a nice mounting surface that's not tippy at all. It adds enough weight. This is going to sit flat. Your handle here fully spins 360 degrees. Simple turn to tighten. And I would assume if you need to, for some reason, yeah, you can you loosen it all the way? Get it off. Yes, you can. So that is capable of being removed if you need to, but honestly, with a tool like this, gosh, you're gonna probably want the extra handle, otherwise this becomes kind of unwieldy in a lot of situations. So there's your handle, free spinning, really simple design. That's steel. It's got a steel band on there that holds that together. And honestly, I love the Bosch handles. I just really like the texture. It's a really grippy kind of over molding on there. Feels really good in the hand. So all great stuff there. So with the 8 amp hour battery on there, sits beautiful. Now here's your different settings. Let's see. How can I do this in a way to show you? Right there. So you have your different mode selector. So you've got that looks like a forward and reverse setting for your hammer and drill. So typically you would just be running this in forward. If you had a bit or something to lock up, or as you're trying to pull it out, it was jamming up and you're having issues, you could flip it over into the reverse setting, and that would just help you extract that bit out of whatever you're kind of drilling into there. And then you do have, let's see here, that looks like just a drill only position. So it's just going to freely spin. You're not going to get the hammering action. So that's great. And then you do have all the way down, you have a nice hammer setting here. These aren't not super visible, at least on camera here. They show up pretty well if you were just looking at it. So if they had put maybe a little bit of like a color inlay in there, that would have been handy for just kind of a quick reference, but not a big deal. So we're going to move that back up. That turns really nice. I've used other SDS rotary hammers. Sometimes this mechanism is just really hard to move. This turns beautifully. It's recessed down with the tool, so it's really unlikely to get bumped, but it's big. It'd be easy to grab even with gloves on your hands and get this turned, and you're not fighting it. It just kind of clicks into every position really smooth. This is a connected tool if you want it to be. On the side here, here's your module for your Bluetooth, this is your cutout here for your Bluetooth connected module. I don't know what that does yet. I will have a follow-up on that because I have, I think, one module that I've been kind of swapping around tools and playing with. So I will throw it in this one. We'll see how it does and see what kind of options it gives you. So that's what that looks like. Up on the top here, we've got a push button that pushes down. I'm going to be careful here. That is locked. So push it down. You cannot engage that trigger. Push it up. Ooh, and it comes to life. It roars to life. That's awesome. Now, you can see that light up in the back there. This is your user interface. This is going to give you battery level indication, temperature, and different settings like that. You can kind of, you see it light up. Green means everything is functioning. I do believe there is a, I want to get the terminology correct, but basically there's a feature that would, if it's sensing that it's jamming up, it's going to stop the tool. I think this turns orange or red. Let me set this down and I'm going to look, let's see, maybe on the box here. That might give me the information I would like to share. So, let's see. Yeah, so you can kind of go through it. So it has tool status. You have an auto setting on here. That's kind of for maximum performance. You can go into the app, it says, and move to favorite, which is a pre-configured setting that you would use with the connected module. So that's kind of neat. And then you have a soft material setting. Great. You have a temperature, because obviously these tools can get worked really hard. If it starts getting too hot, it's going to warn you, and eventually it will shut down. It has kickback control, which is that kind of shield. Let's see if we can light that up, if that helps. Right in there, that shield, right there. Yeah, there we go. Shield would be kickback control. So if that engages, it sensed that it was trying to jam up, and it's going to shut down to kind of protect you there. I think that's for your, Bluetooth module connectivity there. So a lot of great features. This does have, you can see this here, a really nice kind of shock absorption built into the handle. I mean, look at that. I can move that like that. So I'm expecting this to have really low vibration, which will be really nice. So you got a lot of options here, and it's a pretty, I don't know, Bosch, I feel like they're trying really hard to develop features that not only keep you safe, but the tool and the battery as well. These are expensive pieces of equipment, and you don't want to ruin them because you didn't know. Starts getting overworked, it's getting hot. Most guys wouldn't mind just taking a few minutes, letting it rest, and making sure that this is properly protected. And then again, more importantly, the user too. Having this shut down because it was going to kick back, having this not whip around and club you is a great thing. So spin around here, you can kind of see it. Not much going on the other side. On the front, you do have a light down here. How well that works, hard to tell in here, but maybe I can do another, like a YouTube short video, and we'll show off that in a dark setting. And then for bits, SDS is really nice because it's a really simple lock. You just basically pull back on that, and you can insert your bits, and remove your bits. It's really simple, and I actually have one. Let's see here, which one should we throw in here? So I have one here. Look at that behemoth. This is a chisel, so a 16-inch. They're calling this the R-Tech point chisel. This is a Bosch made SDS Max. So let me see if I can get it off. There we go, easy enough. So we're gonna slide this back so we can kind of show how this works. But you basically got some splines here, I guess, or grooves, and those are going to orient the tool correctly. And then you have two slots here that I think are essentially where the detent locks that in place. Now obviously you can see how long that is, because that's got to be able to move back and forth within the tool sum to engage properly with the hammer functions. So you basically take this in, and that looks like correct, and there it is. Pretty simple. Now I do think, and with that on there, it's going to tip forward. So I'm assuming you're going to use this on all of your bits. you're going to want to grease that end up, because these are experiencing a tremendous amount of torque and heat. And so, you know, no matter how well it's designed and engineered, when you start heating up metal like that and putting it under a lot of stress and torque, you know, there's a likelihood that it's going to want to kind of get stuck. It's going to grab, it's going to expand, do all kinds of weird things. So this is going to help prevent damage to the tool, to the bit. So make sure you use that properly. And I'll kind of, before I use it, I will, let's see, okay. So that's interesting. So if the bit is pulled forward, that will not disengage, which is good to know. So that's got to be kind of depressed back in there. Pull back on the collar, slides out, and you can see some of that grease actually. So some grease on the actual bit there. That was probably back, or that was back in the tool itself. So you're going to want to keep that greased up well so that you have no issues long term. Okay, enough gabbing from me. We heard it briefly. Let's turn this bad boy on though and see what kind of beautiful noise it's going to make. Now I can feel the hammer function inside there, and it is very, very smooth, very low vibration. Now obviously that will change some when I'm actually hitting the material, but I think this is going to work really well for killing a lot of that vibration, the way this handle is designed. So that was kind of the auto mode. You do have a variable, obviously variable speed trigger here. You can get a really nice slow start, build that up very nicely. So I do really like these trigger designs here. They're much larger. You can get 2 to 3 fingers on there for a lot of control. And in a tool like this, it just feels correct. I would be disappointed if it was, you know, a smaller trigger, something like you would find on a typical drill or something like that. So there's that. You can cycle through. There's that favorite setting. Again, you would need the Bluetooth module to kind of set that up ahead of time, I believe. Here's a soft material. So I don't know if that's changing the actual hammer portion of it, or if that's changing the speed. Hard to tell. Let's go through some specs real quick though, before we sign off for now. So again, max hole diameter in concrete is 1.9/16", excuse me. So again, this is probably on the smaller side for an SDS Max, but I'm super excited about it. And that's for a solid bit. If you were doing a core bit through concrete, you can go up to 4 inches with this monster. A 4-inch core, that is incredible. Impact energy, 5.2 foot-pounds. Your impact rate and rated speed, you have 0 through 2,900 beats per, or BPM, which would be probably your impacts, your beats per minute. And then for the rated speed, it's 0 through 500 RPM. So pretty awesome. And then your weight without a battery is 11.3 pounds. At least that's what's on the box here. I don't have a scale out here. I need to get myself a nice little scale to confirm actual tool weights and tool weights with batteries that you would be likely to use. That would be probably great information that you guys would like to know. So well, let me know what you guys think. The Bosch Hitman SDS Max. This is again part of their Profactor team, and I am here for it. I'm just digging this. Otherwise known as the GBH18V, and this is the 36C. Again, smaller end of the SDS Max line, but still an absolute monster. Let me know what you guys think. Is it a bad day when you have to pick up your SDS rotary hammer, or do you start the day off kind of excited? I'm going to be honest, I usually start the day off a little bit excited. These are fun tools to run. If you had to run it all day, that might be a little different. But when you're only having to do it for a few hours at a time, these are really impressive tools. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.